Humans are the only animals capable of imagining the future. And yet, we often live as if the future is someone else's responsibility. We forget that every action, every choice, every moment shapes the trajectory of our lives. Today is not just another day on the calendar. It is a crossroads, a junction where your decisions will ripple into the months and years ahead. History is not made by grand plans alone. It is made by small, deliberate steps taken consistently. What you do today, how you think today, the habits you form today, these will quietly, inexorably decide the course of your 2026. So ask yourself, will you let today slip by, or will you take charge, knowing that this single day carries the power to define your future? Today, you stand at a threshold, not a physical one, not a moment marked by clocks or calendars, but a threshold of possibilities that stretch endlessly in every direction. Every human being on this planet has lived days like this. Days that seem ordinary when you wake up. Days that seem indistinguishable from the last. Yet days that carry within them the power to transform entire lifetimes. And yet, we often fail to recognize this. We look at time as an infinite resource, as if there will always be another day, another chance, another moment to make things right. But the truth is more subtle and more urgent. Today is not simply a day. Today is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your choices, your focus, and your intention. The fruit of this seed will be what defines your 2026. What you do today, the thoughts you entertain, the actions you take, the commitments you make, even the way you perceive your own potential, these are the invisible threads that weave the fabric of your future. Consider the human brain, the most complex structure in the known universe. It contains billions of neurons, trillions of connections, yet it is astonishingly sensitive to repetition, to habit, to the tiny decisions made over and over again. A single day is merely 24 hours, yet within those hours lie thousands of micro decisions that can cumulatively alter the trajectory of a life. Choosing to rise early or to remain in bed, choosing to nourish your body or neglect it, choosing to invest your time in learning or to scroll endlessly through distractions, these are not trivial choices. They are the foundational acts through which we construct the reality we will inhabit. And yet, many of us live as if these choices are insignificant, as if the grand shape of our life will emerge independently of these daily acts, as if fate or luck alone will determine our path. But life does not operate on abstraction. Life is concrete. Life is action. Life is the accumulation of moments like today, precise and fleeting, and how we navigate them will determine whether we move closer to mastery, fulfillment, and freedom, or whether we drift aimlessly, waiting for circumstances to rescue us. History offers countless illustrations of this principle. Consider civilizations that rose to unprecedented heights, not because of extraordinary vision in a single moment, but because of the steady, disciplined choices of individuals day after day, year after year, the scholars who preserved knowledge through painstaking copying of manuscripts, the explorers who risked everything for the pursuit of discovery, the thinkers who questioned prevailing norms despite immense social pressure. None of them were defined by a single day alone, but each day they lived deliberately, with purpose, created a ripple effect that extended far beyond their immediate perception. And this is precisely why today matters. Today, in all its ordinariness, holds the latent potential to initiate ripples that will carry through the months, the seasons, the years ahead. If you neglect it, you surrender that power. If you embrace it, you wield it. We often speak of the future as if it is something distant, a horizon we will eventually reach. But this is an illusion. The future is composed entirely of present moments. Every second that passes is the future becoming the present. The 2026 you hope for, the 2026 you envision, The 2026 that feels like a distant dream is being forged by the cumulative effect of choices you make today. And this is where agency becomes paramount. No external circumstance, no authority, no technology can define your path unless you permit it to. What you permit, what you prioritize, and what you invest yourself in will become the architecture of your destiny. And yet, human beings are often paradoxical creatures. We fear the enormity of potential, and in our fear, we procrastinate. We wait for perfection. We wait for clarity. We wait for permission. But the universe does not wait for our readiness. Life unfolds with relentless impartiality. And those who recognize that today is the fulcrum of possibility, those who grasp that a single day can tilt the scale of an entire year, are the ones who transform potential into reality. Consider also the nature of habits. For habits are the compound interest of human behavior. Each choice you make today is not isolated, it compounds like tiny deposits into the bank of your life. Reading a single page, running a single kilometer, reaching out to a single person, these may appear inconsequential in isolation, but repeated consistently, they accumulate into a momentum that is unstoppable. Momentum is one of the great forces of human life. Once created, it carries forward effortlessly. But it begins in the precise moment, in the conscious decision, in the acknowledgement that today matters. Momentum not magic. It is choice repeated, sustained, and cultivated with awareness. And what you choose to initiate today will either accelerate your journey toward the life you desire or allow inertia to dictate your path. We must also confront the illusions that prevent us from acting. We tell ourselves stories, tomorrow will be easier, the conditions must be perfect, someone else must start first. These are the traps of human cognition. They are comforting lies, designed to preserve our comfort in the present, but they come at the cost of our future. The truth is uncomfortable, yet liberating. The conditions will never be perfect. You are the someone who must start first. And tomorrow will never exist except as the sum of what you do today. Recognizing this is not pessimism, it is clarity. Clarity is a weapon against procrastination, indecision, and the slow erosion of potential. With clarity comes responsibility, and with responsibility comes the power to change your trajectory. Think also of the interplay between vision and action. Vision without action is idle dreaming, a castle in the clouds. Action without vision is aimless motion, spinning energy without direction. Today, therefore, is the intersection of the two. Your vision of 2026, your hopes, your ambitions, your deepest aspirations, all of them must meet the concrete reality of action today. Writing down your goals, planning meticulously, reflecting deeply, cultivating the mindset necessary to persist in the face of challenges. These are not optional. They are the scaffolding upon which the architecture of your future is built. And yet scaffolding alone is not enough. It must be paired with deliberate, thoughtful, disciplined action in this very moment. There is another dimension that must not be overlooked: the psychological landscape of choice. Human beings are uniquely burdened and blessed with the awareness of potential futures. We anticipate, we simulate, we imagine. This capacity allows for creativity, innovation, and foresight, but it also brings anxiety, doubt, and hesitation. In this tension lies the essence of agency: to act despite uncertainty, to commit despite fear, to prioritize what is meaningful rather than what is merely comfortable. This is the defining act of shaping your own life. Today is the laboratory of this practice. Every decision you make is a test, a small experiment in mastery over your own time, energy, and intention. Some experiments will fail, and failure itself is a teacher, a guide, a correction that points toward refinement and eventual success. But failure cannot be embraced if action is not taken at all. Inaction is the ultimate thief of potential. Furthermore, consider the human relationship with time itself. We measure life in hours, days, years, yet the experience of time is profoundly elastic. Moments of focused, intentional work expand time. Moments of distraction compress it into meaninglessness. The human mind has the ability to shape its perception of time through engagement, presence, and deliberate attention. To recognize the value of today is to reclaim time from the relentless drift of habit, distraction, and passivity. By consciously directing your attention, by choosing what to invest in, by refusing to surrender your day to the trivial or the urgent, you stake a claim on the hours that will define the coming year. The stakes of this day are not hypothetical. They are immediate, tangible, and real. The habits you reinforce, the knowledge you acquire, the skills you refine, the relationships you nurture, all of these will converge in 2026 to create a landscape that either serves you or limits you. And this convergence is silent, subtle, and often invisible. You will not see the results instantly. The tree that grows from the SE you plant today may not bear fruit for months, perhaps a year, but it will bear fruit. The question is not whether action matters, but whether you have the courage, discipline, and foresight to act in a way that aligns with the life you desire. Let us also consider the social dimension. No human life exists in isolation. Our choices resonate through our families, our communities, our networks. The energy you bring into interactions, the mindset you carry into collaboration, the integrity you uphold in your commitments, all of these create a ripple effect that extends far beyond your immediate perception. By consciously choosing to bring your best self to each encounter today, you are influencing a network of outcomes that will affect not only your own 2026, but the environment in which that year unfolds. Influence is not coercion. It is the subtle power of presence, consistency, and intentional action. And those who understand this harness it to create momentum that carries them forward while elevating those around them. And finally, consider the existential dimension of the moment. Life is finite, fragile, and unpredictable. The illusion that time is abundant leads to complacency. Every moment not fully embraced, every opportunity ignored, is irretrievably lost. To internalize the weight of today is to confront mortality, not with despair, but with clarity, with urgency, and with purpose. When you recognize that your future is being written in the ink of today's choices, the ordinary becomes extraordinary, the mundane becomes profound, and the potential within your grasp becomes tangible. The past is immutable. The future is undetermined. The present is the only canvas upon which you can paint the life you wish to inhabit. Imagine for a moment that time is not a straight line stretching endlessly before us, but a delicate lattice, a network of choices, actions, and consequences that intersect in ways we often fail to notice. Each day is a node, and each decision a link that connects the present to the unfolding future. The human mind, remarkable and astonishing in its capacity, has the ability to navigate this network, to select pathways that accelerate growth, opportunity, and fulfillment. Yet so often, we fail to perceive the intricate architecture of our own lives. We act as though the future is predetermined by circumstances outside ourselves, by luck or the whims of fate, and in doing so, we relinquish the extraordinary power embedded in this very day. Today is not merely a page in the calendar. It is a fulcrum, a pivot upon which the entirety of 2026 can be leveraged. What you do with it, how you treat it, how deliberately you engage with it, will determine whether the year ahead is one of transformation, of progress, of triumph, or a repetition of cycles already exhausted. Consider the human capacity for adaptation, for foresight, for deliberate change. We are, in essence, prediction machines, continuously modeling possible futures and adjusting our behavior accordingly. And yet, this capacity is often underutilized. We spend time reacting to immediate circumstances, to fleeting impulses, to the noise of the present, rather than strategically investing in the long arc of our own potential. Every choice you make today, no matter how small, is an input into this predictive system. Each decision, whether to cultivate knowledge, to strengthen your mind and body, to deepen your relationships, to challenge yourself, to take responsibility for your time, modifies the probability of a desired outcome. To ignore the leverage of today is to ignore the very mechanism through which human agency operates. The mind's tendency to underestimate cumulative effects is particularly deceptive. Small, consistent actions compound silently, invisibly, until their impact becomes undeniable. Just as a river carves valleys through mountains over millennia, the consistent application of intention and discipline shapes the contours of a life. Reading for 20 minutes a day, reflecting thoughtfully on decisions, investing in skill building, setting clear goals. These are modest acts in isolation, yet over months, they generate momentum that transforms a person's abilities, opportunities, and outcomes. The paradox is that we cannot see the magnitude of these effects in the moment. They are latent, invisible, yet no less real. And this is precisely why conscious attention to today is imperative. The decisions made in a single day do not exist in isolation. They are threads in the tapestry of your life, each reinforcing or undermining the structure of the year ahead. History is rich with examples of individuals who understood this principle intuitively, even without formal knowledge of neuroscience or behavioral science. Artists who dedicated themselves to daily practice, thinkers who wrote or studied relentlessly, leaders who committed themselves to incremental progress. They grasped, at some level, that the present moment carries the seeds of all future outcomes. They understood that greatness is not a sudden lightning strike, but a cumulative effect of repeated intentional acts, each chosen with awareness, each executed with care. The same principle applies to your 2026. It is shaped not by grand gestures alone, but by the deliberate, thoughtful, persistent engagement with each day as it arrives. We must also confront the illusions that prevent action. The human mind is predisposed to procrastination, distraction, and overestimation of future readiness. We tell ourselves that we will act when conditions are perfect, when we feel motivated, when the stars align. These are comforting myths designed to shield us from discomfort, effort, and accountability. The reality is stark and empowering. The conditions will never be perfect. Motivation is transient, fleeting, and unreliable. Action taken with clarity of purpose and discipline is the true driver of change. Every moment spent waiting for ideal circumstances is a moment surrendered to inertia, a moment that quietly erodes the potential of the future. Recognizing this is not discouraging,